The movie begins with a young man named Gao lying unconscious in a wrecked car at the bottom of a cliff. A village girl named Xing watches from a distance, curious but calm. Moments later, Gao wakes up, injured and disoriented. He stumbles out of the car and starts limping across the rough terrain. But before he can get far, Xing suddenly appears and knocks him out with a stone, without saying a word. The story then flashes back to 8 hours before the crash. Gao, a gem hunter, is on a sidewalk with his dealer Xiana and his technician Qin. While chatting, Gao notices two shady men sitting in a car nearby, clearly watching him. He instantly suspects they've been sent to follow him. Saying a quick goodbye to his companions, he jumps into his car and drives off. As expected, the men tail him, and a high-speed chase begins. It ends with Gao's car flying off the road and crashing into the ravine. Back in the present, Gao wakes up again, this time in a mysterious, isolated village. What stuns him most is that the society here is matriarchal. The women hunt, fight, and make the decisions while the men cook, clean, and raise the children. There's no technology, no phones, no electricity, just a way of life untouched by the modern world. Gao is shocked to learn that Xing, the girl who hit him, is actually the queen of the tribe. At first, he refuses to believe any of it. He assumes it's all some elaborate cosplay or a prank. Frustrated, he insults the villagers and mocks Xing's authority. Offended by his arrogance, Xing throws him in a wooden cage as punishment. Over time, Gao realizes the village and its people are real. He wants to return to the city, but Yun He, the village astrologer, informs him he can't leave without the queen's permission. Eventually, Gao begs Xing to release him and help him reach his car. Though doubtful, she agrees. At the crash site, Gao searches for supplies and finds a metal bat. While swinging it around playfully, he accidentally hits Xing on the head, knocking her out. Seizing the moment, Gao grabs his backpack and runs into the forest. But when the car's fuel tank leaks and bursts into flames with Xing still nearby, he hears the villagers screaming. Overcome with guilt, he rushes back, drenches himself with water, and runs into the fire to rescue her. Right after Gao and Xing leave the crash site, the wrecked car suddenly explodes behind them. The blast throws them into a nearby pond. Back in the village, Gao finds his old phone tucked away in his backpack. He powers it on and plays some music, which immediately catches Xing's attention. She runs into the room, startled by the unfamiliar sound, and tries to destroy the phone, thinking it's dangerous. Gao quickly stops her and explains that it's harmless. To calm her down, he hands her a pair of earphones. Curious, Xing puts them on and listens. The soothing music helps her relax, and soon enough, she dozes off. Gao gently places the sleeping Xing on the bed and begins frantically searching the room, hoping to find a map or some clue to help him find his way back to the city. Instead of a map, he discovers a stunning sapphire gemstone. Thrilled, he decides to ask Xing about it when she wakes up. The next morning, Xing explains that the sapphire is a keepsake from her late mother and is of deep emotional value. Gao, blinded by greed, offers her random gifts in return, like instant noodles, a book, and even his phone. But Xing refuses to trade. She says it's the only thing she has left from her mother, and no object could replace it. Disappointed, Gao secretly decides he'll just steal it later. That evening, Xing asks Gao to meet her in a nearby open field so they can watch the stars together. Gao agrees, thinking it's just a peaceful way to hang out. When night falls, the two lie on the grass under the night sky. Suddenly, Xing jumps on him and starts removing his clothes. Gao is stunned and pushes her off, confused. A heated argument follows where he learns that watching the stars is a euphemism for having sex in their culture. Feeling misled, Gao bolts back to the village with Xing chasing him furiously. Back in the village, Xing locks Gao up. Inside the cell, Gao explains that he didn't understand the phrase, and that where he's from, people confess love during romantic moments, like when it snows. Xing finally understands his perspective, but still leaves him in the cell overnight. Meanwhile, back in the city, Xiana and Qin are desperately searching for Gao. They check the cliff where his car crashed but find no clues. Qin sends out a drone, but a strange magnetic field knocks it offline. Later, they return home and run into Leon, a businesswoman Gao signed a contract with. The contract requires Gao to check in every few days or face a hefty fine. With several days gone, Leon gives them a strict deadline to find him, or face the consequences. Back in the village, Xing leads Gao into the woods. There, she confesses her love and proposes marriage, right before dumping a bucket of what she claims is chicken blood on him. Gao is horrified. Turns out, Xing misheard him the night before. He had said snow, but she thought he said blood, since the two words sound similar in Chinese. Frustrated and grossed out, Gao storms off, but he doesn't get far. He falls into a hidden trap. Stuck and helpless, Gao pleads with Xing to get him out. She refuses unless he agrees to marry her. With no other choice, Gao gives in. On the way back, he spots one of the blades from Qin's drone in the bushes. He realizes his friends are searching for him and begins plotting his escape. That night, Xing and Gao talk about their upcoming wedding. Gao subtly asks about the area and learns of a secret cave in the forest, which might be his way out. Xing also mentions a wine reserve in the village. Gao convinces her to take him there. Once inside the pantry, while she's distracted, he slips sleeping pills into a barrel of wine. His plan to knock out the villagers during the ceremony. Later, back in his room, Xing surprises Gao by gifting him her beloved sapphire stone as a pre-wedding present. Gao, feeling guilty, still accepts it. The next evening, the wedding takes place. Following the tribe's quirky traditions, Xing kneels and confesses her love again. Gao goes along with it, and the villagers cheer as they perform a love song and dance. As the celebration peaks, Gao raises a toast and encourages everyone to drink from their bowls of wine. While the villagers down the drugged wine, Gao quietly tosses his away. Hours later, with the villagers sound asleep, Gao gathers his things and slips away into the woods. He reaches the cave and ventures into its dark, winding path, hopeful and determined to make it back to the city. By morning, he finally emerges at the edge of a mountain and runs toward the road, a wide grin spreading across his face. Back at his house, Lian shows up with her men. The deadline to find Gao is almost over. She pressures Zana and Qin, who admit they still don't know where Gao is. Lian presents a contract that would transfer Gao's house to her. When Zana refuses to sign, Lian has her men hold them down and forces her to thumbprint the papers. Just as the situation escalates, Gao bursts through the front door. While Gao confronts Lian, Qin takes advantage of the chaos and swallows the signed contract to prevent her from claiming the house. Lian, unaware, leaves the property but promises to stay in touch. After she's gone, Gao freshens up and sits down for a meal with Zana and Qin. They bombard him with questions about his sudden disappearance, but Gao, wanting to protect the villagers' existence, dodges the truth and feeds them a fabricated story. During the meal, Gao reveals the sapphire gem Xing gifted him. Both friends are stunned, having not seen a sapphire that large in years. Gao then hands the gem to Zana, along with a soil sample from the village, asking her to have them tested. Later, the trio visits Gao's Uncle Wen at a nursing home. To lift spirits, they dress in clown costumes and entertain the elderly residents. Meanwhile, back in the village, the effects of the sleeping wine wear off. The villagers awaken and quickly realize Gao is gone. Xing is devastated. Heartbroken and betrayed, she concludes that Gao fled with the gem. Still holding on to hope, she decides to follow him to the city. Initially, the village astrologer, Yunhe, forbids her from going. But after Xing pleads with her, Yunhe reluctantly agrees and escorts her to the cave's entrance. Before she leaves, Yunhe warns her to be cautious around city dwellers. Once Xing arrives in the city, she crosses paths with Yi Tian, a well-known astrology influencer looking for a new female co-host. Intrigued by Xing's odd appearance and whimsical manner, Yi offers her a contract. When he asks for her manager, a confused Xing gives him a card Gao had left behind in the village. Yi finds a number on it and tracks Gao to a nearby nursing home. At Xing's request, Yi drives her there. When they arrive, Gao, dressed in a clown suit, sees her from afar. Not wanting to be found, he hides in the bushes. Xing looks for him but is about to leave when she hears someone sneeze. She turns and sees Gao pop up in the clown costume, but doesn't recognize him. Confused, she watches him hop away. Back in the car, Yi explains that clowns aren't mythical beings. They're just people in disguise. Shocked, Xing suddenly realizes the clown she saw was Gao after all. Xing begs Yi to take her back to the nursing home, and the influencer agrees. Sadly, when they arrive, Gao and his friends are already gone, leaving Xing disappointed once again. Yi offers to take her to his house, but Xing refuses and sits down on the pavement in front of the nursery, determined to wait for Gao. Despite Yi's desperate attempts to persuade her to leave, she remains seated under the pouring rain. Meanwhile, Gao feels guilty for avoiding Xing and asks Qin to find her location. A few minutes later, Qin informs him that Xing is still at the nursing home with Yi. Grateful, Gao immediately heads back to the nursery. Upon arrival, he spots Xing sitting in the rain with Yi by her side. Gao pulls up in front of them and rolls down the window. Xing is stunned to see him and grabs him by the shirt. Gao quickly pleads with her not to hit him, fabricating an absurd excuse that it's wrong to hit people in the rain. Naively, Xing believes him and gets into the car as Gao drives her to his house. Once they arrive, Xing points a crossbow at Gao, but he manages to calm her down and convinces her to put the weapon down. Ying then asks for her sapphire back, but Gao distracts her by offering her a cake. She eagerly eats it, forgetting about the gem as she devours the sugary treat, savoring the new experience. Afterward, Xing spends the rest of the day exploring the house. She accidentally shoots an arrow at the television, thinking it's a monster, but Gao reassures her it's just a harmless gadget. Fascinated by the modern world, Xing celebrates by swinging a feather pillow, creating a mess in the house. The next day, Zana arrives at Gao's place and is shocked to find the living room in disarray. She is confronted by Xing, who is eating a bowl of instant noodles. Zana snatches the bowl away and demands to know who Xing is and her relationship with Gao. Annoyed by Zana's attitude, Xing grabs her by the face, causing Zana to scream in fear. Gao is woken by the scream and rushes downstairs to find Zana wrapped in a blanket with a cloth over her mouth. He frees her, horrified to learn that Xing is responsible. Furious, Zana demands an explanation. Gao takes her upstairs and comes clean about what happened when he went missing. He explains that Xing is the queen of a secluded matriarchal village where women rule and men are submissive. Initially skeptical, Zana believes him when Gao shows her Xing's crossbow. Meanwhile, in the living room, Xing hears a knock on the window and is shocked to see Yi outside. She struggles to open the door but ends up breaking it entirely. Gao and Zana rush downstairs, finding the broken door. Gao is livid to find Yi in his house and drags him out, locking the gate behind him. Yi, however, refuses to leave and reveals that he knows about Xing's origins. Shocked, Gao warns Yi to stay away from her. The next day, Gao takes Xing to a fashion store to buy new clothes. As Xing tries on outfits, Gao steps outside to give her some privacy. He's startled to see Leon approaching from a distance and immediately hides behind a wall, fearing she'll discover Xing. He watches anxiously as Leon enters the store.